Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another Apocalypse Rising 2 video. This video is going to be a guide that includes some tips and tricks on how to get better in combat in AR2. This video will teach you how to win more of your fights, how to handle being outnumbered, how to stay alive longer, and also just some general tips you'll find useful in combat. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is basically some basic combat tips. So this first tip might seem really obvious, but it's actually one that can help you win a lot more of your fights, and that's actually just basically aiming for the head a lot more. So for example, if I shoot Stanton here in the arm, I'll do 14 damage. But if I shoot him in the head, I do 28. So that's double the damage just for shooting him in the head. Alright. And if you shoot him in the body, of course, it does 20 damage. So just by landing more headshots, you'll be able to win a lot more of your fights, because basically what you're doing is doing more damage quicker than your opponent can. So the simplest thing I could say is just try to aim for the head more in your fights. Another thing is at long distance fights, try not to spray and try to rather like burst your shots out or tap fire. So if I was gonna try to spray Stant from this far, I wouldn't land that many shots, or I would try to land my shots depending on what gun I would use. But if I tried to back up a little more and spray from this distance, I would barely hit any shots. So what would you do is actually you just want to take your time and just try to land headshots. So by tap firing, you'll end up hitting a lot more shots than you would by spraying from a long distance, where it's a lot harder to control the recoil. The next tip I have is actually for when you're pushing a player. A lot of times in AR2, you'll find yourself pushing another player. So if you find yourself in this situation, the best thing to do for pushing someone is, let's say I was pushing here to Stant. What I would do to push up on him is I would try to use the hill as cover like this. So he can't see me. He can't see my movement, 1. And 2, I have cover from the hill. As I push up, I would use cover. Like use every cover around me just to like block as much shots as I can, just to get as close as I can to him. Right, once I cover enough ground and I get to a spot where I feel comfortable with killing him, basically just pop out of cover and try to kill him. Also, if you're being pushed or you're pushing someone, use health boosters. I don't have any on me right now, but health boosters can save you a lot in combat. On average, health boosters will allow you to take another 2 shots, I'd say, if you're using a military one, and 2 shots could greatly change whether you win or lose a fight. Another basic combat tip I have is when you're fighting in close range, try to use third person. And the reason I say this is because when you're in third person, I feel like it's a lot easier to keep track of your enemy and keep your aim on them. Also, you're able to see a lot more, and you're able to basically like just get a better sense of direction and what your surroundings are when you're in third person. So moving on to taking down groups. I know taking down groups is a big issue people tend to have in this game when it comes to fighting. And it's definitely not easy, for sure, I'll tell you that. I mean, you're definitely not going to win all of them. You're probably not going to win most of them, but I'll show you some things you could do to try to help you win more of these fights. So taking in mind some of the stuff I already taught you earlier on in the video, if you're getting ready to fight a group, I'd say the first thing you want to do is use a health booster if they start pushing you. So when you're getting pushed by a group, basically you want to use surprise like this. And after you get a kill, what you want to do is you want to reposition as well. So after you kill this guy, you don't want to be in the same spot. Now that I'm in a different spot, I have one guy over here and one guy over here. What you want to do is you just want to try to turn every fight into a 1v1. So by pushing one member of a group at a time, you can make sure they get no help from their teammates and start to take down their numbers one by one. This makes it a lot easier for yourself rather than trying to kill multiple people at a time. So now that I knew the last guy was somewhere in this direction, like I just saw him right here, you can finally get ready to get this last 1v1, catch him by surprise, and get him low, and then you can finish off the fight. Alright, for a quick recap, for basic combat tips, try to use cover and use health boosters when you're pushing someone. If you're in a 1v1, you should always try and let someone push you, as you have the natural advantage. In every fight, make sure you try to aim for the head. When you're fighting from long distances, try to tap fire. And when you're at close range, use third person and spray. If you're pushing inside a building, try to use first person, because sometimes it's a lot harder to see while using third person inside of a building. Also, if you're in the right situation, try to use high ground to kill a player, as it's a lot easier to look down at a player and kill them than it is to look up at a player and kill them. When it comes to fighting groups or you're outnumbered, remember to use your health boosters, and remember to try to only kill one person at a time. It's a lot easier to kill one person at a time than it is to kill 2 people at a time. It's pretty much basic math. Another thing is use surprise, or as some players call it, pop shotting, to your advantage. Popping out of cover out of nowhere and shooting a player is one of the easiest ways you can get a kill. And after you kill someone in a group, try to reposition yourself so you're not in the same spot. This will help you because now that the enemy is looking around for where you went, you could pop out of nowhere and get another kill. Alright, that's going to be it for this video. I'd like to thank everybody who helped out during the filming of this video, specifically N076, J Blaze, and Stant01. If you enjoyed the video and want to see more, make sure you leave a like and subscribe. Besides that, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching.